Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. First, make you see how far your back bend. If you don't know how, get less if like a rent. Turn your body round like a smoothie or the blend. New dance trend. Style we no borrow, style we no lend. For sure, we no the beg no friend. From in the thing from way back when for the elders and the children. Can't do the thing till they gonna do it like charge. Back it up in the garage. Make them know we squad living large. Hold a salute every sarge. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme. We like when you shake it. Never gonna DR if you can't fake it. Entire yam, heart and thick. Mama take 9 months to make it. Act like you didn't need Johnny cake before you bake it. Take a pass to the cars, then twerk it. Then your style you can't buy the new market. All of the styling Bang surpass it, yo. Watch when they blaze it. Have the tremble like we don't tease it. Tell the DJ, rewind it. Bust that sweat and work it. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Disappear for a while, but now I am back again, introducing a new style, them call the Ling Bang. I am a musical zen, violating the charts again. Ling Bang, no matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang. Big bully in a pen, Ling Bang. Rooster or hen, this one, yeah. Creme de la creme, Ling Bang. No matter if you're 50 or 10, Ling Bang.
All right, Joe, we have a little bit of difficulties, but we are back on. Sorry about that, guys.
Creme de la creme.
Everybody should be coming on back in a minute.
And Dangriga. Check Pamali's sister Julia. Teaching the tourists that he kaka. Through the alley and the plaza. Go jump past 41-mile marker. If you want something extra, I want you that feel Librata.
I'll try to go a little less.
Sorry, guys, we had a little difficulty with the net just now, but it's okay. Everybody should be coming on a little while. Just be patient. Thank you. In the meantime, I'll run another 2-lead rhythm till anybody ready. Get in touch with everybody else. Okay, thanks.
Clinton, your mic mute. Let's see what's going on. Good evening, everybody. Are we on? It looks like we're on. I see the countdown going. G. Michael Reed with you. Welcome to a Wednesday evening podcast.
Yes, me Mike the live.
All right, wonderful. We're on every Wednesday evening. We have no agenda, no axe to grind, no sacred cows. We deal with issues up front and in the open. We are inviting you to um, participate. We ask you also to support us by buying your Kingdom uh, wares. We have T-shirts, bags, etc. Stuff, a lot of stuff that goes towards supporting the show. Uh, we we do this as a labor of love. Absolutely, no commercial value at all. But we hope that it has a cultural value, and that we're able to reach people with some of the issues that are important to our daily living in Belize and on a whole as citizens of this universe, because we all are entitled to our place in this on this planet. There is no superior, no inferior. There's just man, and man often quite unjust to one another. But at the end of the day, we share this planet, and we are all gifted with the liberty to be. We can even worship which God we want or not worship at all if we don't want to. I must tell you that this person here, does hold allegiance to the Most High God. I believe there is a God. And those of you who don't believe that have my sympathy, sincere sympathy, because who you gonna hold on to? Because by yourself, we are very, very small, insignificant in the wider scheme of things. I know that Gregory has been trying to get on, not able to. I see Deidre was on for a minute. Let's hope that they're going to be checking eventually and give me a ease of the pressure. While I don't mind the talk, leave it. I don't like to talk to myself or by myself. I like to think that I'm uh, being helped along in the conversation, being held to check, being questioned when I assert my feelings. Here comes Lisa. Good evening, Lisa. Welcome back.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me, guys.
All right. Good to know that
Mhm.
you're well enough to participate once again. We know you were under the weather there for a minute. How did
I was.
Okay. How's that working out? The doctor give you clearance?
Yes, he did. Actually, I'm healing very well.
Okay.
As I said before, I'm able to start eating soft, solid foods again. My voice is back, my vision is back, and the hemorrhaging in my eyes has all gone away.
Wonderful.
Yes, so and my hearing is also back too, so that makes a difference.
All right. Stay away from the ribeye steaks, etc., for a while, and go with that soft food. I guess you don't want nothing that's gonna be difficult to digest. Some good old Belize and rice and beans might do the trick. Hey, Gregory, I see you made it on.
Yeah,
uh,
I'm just trying to reach Tamika to see if she got the link to come back in.
okay. Deidre, are you there? Your mic is muted. Hi. Good evening, Deidre. Uh, all right. I see you. You might be hearing us, but not coming through. We're not hearing you. I'm not hearing you at all. Gregory,
Yes.
seems like I spoke too quickly. Last week, when you raised your eyebrows when I said the PUP seems to be doing well, up jump Lee Majors.
Yeah.
$6.9 million for a piece of land apparently belonging to a crony or a friend of some high government official.
Mhm.
Is this the beginning of what we
It's it,
were
it-
dreaded would happen eventually?
well, it's not the this is not the beginning. We have to remember the Portico deal and stuff that they were trying to slip in, um, after it was bastardized by the last government. So it is not a new thing. We face constantly these corruption by incoming and outgoing political parties.
But why do we
As it's
tolerate it?
structured.
Why are we so?
You
And
know,
uh,
go ahead.
I think many times it's because we are allegiant to particular parties, and we put that allegiance ahead of the common sense, and we have to call a spade wherever it is, whether it's somebody you like, somebody you're connected to, somebody you're related to. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Simple. And right is right.
Could we get Clinton to call Shamika and tell her that to try again to get in?
Clinton might be listening. Clinton, give her a call if you have her number.
Yeah, I
And
got. I'm hooking up right now as we speak.
wonderful.
Okay,
All right.
good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Greg. Man, I'm a bit disappointed. What I'm hearing is not comforting at all. They're not really the when they
And
tell. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and when you look at the location of the property, it doesn't seem ideal to where to put a hospital. It's close to a sewer reclamation site. I mean,
I
this is just corruption and disservice to the nation in so many ways.
But we
And
should not let them get away with it. We can't
should
we
not.
can't
We
let go
should.
of
We
this.
should,
I
yeah.
think we have to condemn this with all our whatever resources available to us, whether we keep the talk about it, keep the right about it. They
Yeah.
can't do it, man. Now,
Yeah.
you know this is the problem, Gregory, because according to the Constitution, there shall be an opposition,
Yeah.
and there is no opposition. And I
Well,
think they're doing a
you know,
disservice.
the people themselves need to be active. If the opposition is sleeping, if the opposition is not able to handle its responsibility of representing the dissent of the people, then the people needs to make themselves clearly known that their position will not accept this. I mean, this makes no sense.
That's easier said than done, though. I think what we might need are some ad hoc committees. People just coming together because we need more than one voice. You could be out there in the wilderness hollering, and then we eventually shut you down one way or the other. But there's strength in numbers, so we have to have the numbers saying at the same time on the same page. We're not going to allow this. It is wrong. Hi, Shamika. Welcome. Good that you're going on.
Good night.
Nice to have you on camera finally.
We've been trying to get her for a long time.
We got to know.
No, I was the first in. I don't know how I end up coming last.
I know we had some issues getting on, all of us actually, and we started a bit late. So,
Okay.
but we're on and rolling. I see Brockdown gal in the house. Brockdown, we're going on. You good?
Hello, everybody. Good night. Yes,
Good
I have
night.
a little technical difficulty over here, but I'm here.
All right, and Greg, we have to hold you one, boy, because the ladies outnumber us this evening.
Oh, I like that though.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. In particular, the ladies that we're looking at, they're not like we got nothing unsightly, so we're good to go, right?
Yeah.
But getting back to that issue, because we can't let that go. I heard them talking about feasibility studies, empirical data, and a whole lot of things, but there's absolutely no good explanation. If you want something closer to the highway, how about
build new highway? It's not going to take $6 million.
You don't even have to do that. You don't have to do that. Let's go to where the agricultural showground is then. So that will service the whole, put the agricultural showground somewhere else, maybe on the UB campus where you could get to at some point. But I don't see that we don't have the kind of money for that. And then Minister Bernard is saying it's not going to come out of the money that they're acquiring.
It's coming out of our money.
It'll come from our money. We can't afford that. It's ridiculous. And they're just I'm saying they're doing well. We're not hearing the scandals, but this has to be considered a scandal. Has funds been released to this individual? Also, my cousin informed the SADA fund to question this situation. First of all, I hear one Chinese name, and I understand that he's close to some sitting minister of government, and the news is not digging enough, man. They have to be getting this information and find out, and not just to throw out allegations. But
That's why we have Detroit now. She does the research.
why? And she more going to the historical thing now. Yeah, maybe in about 20 years you could get the facts on this one. But we need. Yeah, Disha, go ahead.
The problem with Belize is nothing is transparent.
Yeah.
People lie in your face. They're not disclosing records, or they don't even have to disclose who made the purchase, so to say. With Key Chapel, the sale of Key Chapel, there's echo with mic. I'm not sure if it's coming from my end. With the sale of Key Chapel a few years ago, it was the same scenario. We had to dig to find out who that buyer was. That needs to change in Belize, because you can't hold people accountable if they're not sharing the information. And unfortunately, we're finding out when it's too late to do anything about it.
I think that though without an opposition, yes, we do need citizens to be more involved. I agree with you, Greg. That's a mouthful there.
Yeah.
How are we gonna go about it though?
But what I'm saying, the opposition, you never know, because everybody just sit quiet on these things. The opposition, even if they don't have numbers in the House, they should be out there mobilizing the citizens with dissent. But we don't hear any dissent from the opposition on this. The guy is scrambling right now to just hold on to this seat.
That people don't
They can't, because then they're busy to argue amongst each other.
Exactly.
And so the ones there where they oppose, then they spitefully do nothing. And they will sink the whole ship.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, all we in that ship, so
exactly.
The media to ask very direct questions and not be intimidated by these ministers.
You broke up there, but try it again.
Yeah, I think the media should be asking these ministers very direct questions without being intimidated. I noticed Jules can be very blunt when he's interviewing people, but it seems that he was a little bit timid when he was interviewing the Prime Minister and the Minister of Health. There's many questions that could have been answered within his discussion with them. Another thing is, we're just complaining in the background. Who's at the seat? Who can represent us at the table with our concerns? Because it means nothing if we cannot confront these ministers with what they're doing.
Lisa is suggesting that maybe we need to have whistleblowers. I have long been advocating for a Whistleblowers Act to make sure we protect those people who whistleblow. Because once they're whistleblow and you're fired, that's it. You're gone. So we're going to really have to find ways moving forward as to how we're going to be involved in fixing this problem. You're absolutely correct. We can be hollering and screaming, but if nobody's listening to us, or we don't have a forum. We have a forum through this medium. Thank goodness for that. And we're going to try to hold on to this, no? Of course, that means, and I'm experiencing right now, having difficulty getting through to people to forward projects that I'm involved in. That is actually community projects. But if you don't kiss ass, you don't get anywhere in Belize. And it's sad, because who do you go to? Jules, and I used to say one time, when Jules was, when the PUP was in government, that Jules was the best we have, but we don't have Jules. Jules can be good, but he is good conditionally. He has his own agenda. I think now he's on a high horse to where he thinks he can talk to people how he wants to. And instead of trying to get to the bottom, he's more showcasing and being up in their face and whatnot, which is all good and well. But let's get to the crux of the problem. Let's find out what is going on. Find out who this individual is, who they're connected to. Why $6.9 million? That's more than they paid for Belmopan. The whole city of Belmopan, they paid less than that for that.
I think that information is something that needs to be out there as well, because a lot of people don't know that. Even I never know that.
So you know that the fact of the matter is that the media is slipping down because there people sit down every evening and listen to the news, then catch the 12:30 news on Love FM, but all of them seems to be in the pockets of the politicians. And again too, a big part of their resources comes from finances from the political parties. When come election time, the amount of money that's spent on media coverage and all the ads and whatnot you've seen is remarkable.
Yep, exactly.
They make crazy money, and this we have to be a part of the whole campaign financing provisions that we need in place. That they just not can't spend money like that, man. We have to get to the bottom of things.
The thing with these people is that they won't be I get like one echo, but they don't care if they make profit. So they're not interested in a public projects.
Mhm.
They mostly just want to do business with private, entities, and people just not realize that. I don't understand why people feel like when these people announce that they have some kind of contract or some deal with private entities, why they feel like that's something good, because it has nothing to do with the public. It's just a business deal. It's not governing.
There was a comment just now by Steve Trapp in regards to contacting the Saudi fund who provided money that was used to purchase this land in Belmopan. Perhaps
No,
more
that money was not used for that. That money was for the hospital. The money that was sent is to build the hospital. That money to purchase that land is coming from the public funds, from the consolidated funds. Which
there was a report yesterday that stated that money came from the Saudi fund, because my understanding was it was the taxpayers' money that it came from. But again, because we don't have things being transparent, we're going by what's being reported by the media. None of us has seen any contract between the government and this landowner finalizing the sale, so we're speculating, so to say.
Yeah. Well, they told us they were purchasing the land. I don't think there's any speculation who they're buying it from.
Yeah.
Who they're buying it from is
what money they're using to buy it with.
Exactly.
Well, actually, Bernard said it was not going to be.
He did say that.
Funds.
Correct.
It was not going to be the funds that were the $85 million that was coming from the Saudi. But that means nothing. He's saying you're still going to get an $85 million hospital. That's basically what he was saying. And the offset for purchasing the land was going to come from other sources. But it's just criminal, and we need to find a way to hold them accountable. And everyone needs to be concerned about this. Every Belizean, wherever they are, in the United States, in Jamaica, in wherever, in Belize, they should be more concerned, because it's affecting their livelihood, it's affecting their accessibility, and it's affecting where money could be used for other things. They're going out and buying a wasted land that is probably not too appropriate for the purpose, considering that there's a sewer treatment plant right at the doorstep of where this hospital is to be built.
It's easy for the cronies to get up and speak and close ranks on this issue and all sing from the same song sheet. But if you paying somebody to say something, they will more likely say what you want them to say. So the people that I'm listening to that are talking there and saying, "Oh, it's all right, man, with these studies. Oh, we have to understand why."
They had a chance to tell us about these studies long time ago. Why didn't they tell us that this study was going on? We weren't going to put it on the university property. All of a sudden this just blows up. This looked like something just cooked up in a very short period of time. Oh, let's dip some little money. I just want
to add something to that. They're not just that this blow up all of a sudden. This is how they operate. If you notice, every time they come and announce something will happen, have no idea where it come from. You never hear no plan, nothing. They just appear on news and tell you, "Oh, we do this, we do that." They don't make the deal long time. So by
Yeah.
the time we come to everything done, they don't pay when they got to pay. Who done me need for hustle, don't hustle. We late to the party.
Not only that, you know, you can be sure that money done share up already. See,
A long time.
then done who forget half at the top, don't get it, so they can't go back on it because nobody will give back their money. So they all want to know that defend, continue to explain, continue to try to convince us that we're going to do all right. When
Exactly.
and what do we do? What we do? Listen and not say nothing. Somebody has to
Because
say something.
Belizeans like sit back and accept and listen until, you know, when time start bad Belizeans and they want to get up and do something, when time they figure they can't bear the punishment no more. We can't eat, we can't nothing. So now that time we get rile up and fight now, but it's too late.
Well,
The damage has already been done by the time Belizeans ready for stand up.
what they will do then, of course, I find key individuals who they will give and leave it their money. And at the end of the day, most of us are more concerned about what we could get personally from this as opposed to the overall interest of the country. And we have to move away from that. That is important. We need to get to the point where we look at things objectively. Is this right? Is this wrong? Is this good for the country? Is this bad for the country? And I don't know where we're going to get to that. The alternative is that we have a strong opposition and we have ad hoc committees that hold both of them in a check. Because at the end of the day, the politicians, they get paid one way or the other. They get their community vote where they can go out there and pay them among the people for stay loyal to them. But the country that the one will get bent over and take it big time. Unfortunately. Artan, where they going? Yeah, go ahead.
It's the way how the Prime Minister answered Jules when Jules asked him if they bought this land from somebody where you know the PUP close to. He said probably like that a normal thing to say. And that just blew over people's head like nothing.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it'll be up to us, all of us, to continue talking about this. Continue posting stuff, even if only on Facebook. Continue sharing information with one another. Keep digging who can dig, because they have to understand that somebody is out there that's going to ask the questions and hold them accountable. We can't just let it go like that. It can't be business as usual, man. It has to stop. It has to stop.
It's a form of education, but people look on it like, oh, you're just a complaint. This is how people were unaware become aware of exactly what is happening, because they have so much people in the dark totally as to what is really going on in the country. The young people, when they come up, they don't have no idea. But as the years go by and they start to learn, because we have some people who continuously air out and explain exactly what is going on. It's not necessarily just about complain or whatever, but it's important for people understand, or else, you know, a lot of these politicians, they target the young people when they know nothing, you know.
Well, here's some information. One of our viewers, and I'm calling him, but he suggests that Mr. Ken is well known in Corozal and that he controls the cigarette trade in the free zone. Also, the deal was made because he will be the financier for David Castillo, who will run against Hugo Pat in Corozal North.
We know this is campaign money.
So
we know this is campaign money. But what I'm more concerned about than anything else is this land truly appropriate for the use of the hospital, considering its proximity to the sewer.
The answer is no, because then I think I hear that now an area of flood. Is that true?
That is true. Yep.
Okay. So when it flood, imagine when you smell like all in the water. Yeah. So they don't ruin the hospital before they build it.
Yeah.
Well, they need to get people sick so they can get people going to the hospital, I guess. No? But apparently the land isn't all that they're building it up to be. I'm saying you want accessible land, and the agricultural showgrounds that happens once a year. They got a whole tract of
Well,
land right there that government owns. It's centrally located. It's accessible from Belmopan, Dangriga, Kai, or Belize. Let's put it there.
Mr. Chairman, if we have a university needs to be totally accessible. Adding a hospital there should just mean that we have greater accessibility, because then they could use money to build the necessary infrastructure to make it accessible, which would serve both the university and the hospital purpose.
But is the university accessible?
Well, I'm saying if it's not,
No. But the question is it accessible? Because obviously it is. People go to the university. You can get to the university.
Yeah.
So if that is accessible and the land is on that land, why would that not be accessible?
Exactly. That's a point. That's a point well taken. But I know that a hospital needs a little bit more accessibility than a fixed university where people are going to. People that goes to hospital people that goes to hospital are transient. They're people coming from everywhere, all parts of the country.
And like the hospital, hospital.
Yeah, but for the university, it's a fixed, captured group that people that goes there every time. So you don't need to really. Once you learn the way of getting there, you have that wayfinding locked down. Hospital needs to be at a place where it is centrally accessible. But this is something they should have known from the very beginning. And if it is not, they could use the money or some money to build up the infrastructure to make sure that the roads are going there, to make sure that they're wide enough, to make sure that
do you know Belmopan, Greg?
Yes, I know Belmopan.
Do you know where the university is?
Yes, I know where the university
is. Do you see big problem in getting to the university?
I see no problem in accessing the university.
How would that be a problem? Why is that a problem? It's not, and regardless, I hear what your point is, that university students come from all over the place, but they get there easily. I go there often, and I know how easy it is to get there. And the hospital would not be difficult to reach.
J. Mike, how far is the road to the university?
How far from where there?
Like, where they bought the proposed $6 million land. From there to
I think it's like a couple
how
miles.
far is it?
I think it's like a couple miles difference, right?
I don't even know where it is actually. I don't.
It's right bucked up against the National Reserve. There.
Well, they said that it's either adjacent or nearby the Hector Silva airstrip. So if it's in that vicinity, how is it from there?
Whose dog is trying to get on the air? Somebody's dog is trying to get on the. Get that dog on mic, or
I think it's Deetra's dog. She needs to feed him.
No, it's not. I think it was fine, guys.
They're outside.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Yeah, but you were saying, Lisa, in the U.S. hospitals are built next to
universities.
Near most, because it's also a medical school.
Yeah, it's training ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now the university student will have to travel. They can't get to the hospital just walking and just coming. It's corruption to high hell, and somehow we need to. I don't know if the deal cannot be undone, but nothing can be not undone if the people were to react. And
well,
as Shamika said, the opposition is in their own mix and hell right now, fighting amongst themselves and not addressing the people's business. It's just crazy.
The university was given a lot of land, just as the Belize UB was given a lot of land. They've chopped away at that until now. They have gone with most of it. So this was a good reason to use that university campus land, which are 7,000 acres. That's a lot of land. They had enough property.
That's 1 square mile.
How much land is available in Crown lands that the government owns?
Oh,
yeah. Have a figure?
Yeah. So I don't have a figure, but there's I think probably about a good half of the land is still a half to a third of the national is still national land.
There's a lot that's reserved though.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah,
know
but
about
still
I,
crown. Yeah.
I don't know that there's that awful lot that's left like that. I always wonder though, should we really have land be that part of such an integral part of commerce that there's a lot of selling and buying and a lot of skullduggery in there, and you go to the lands department. I have been doing some research on a piece of land for the longest, and there's a person who wants to build, come to Belize and build, but has a land in the George Street area. I think I've spoken about this before. Trying to get them to do a swap with this person, the person willing to pay more if he has to, but he doesn't want to build in that area, but that area needs a park. So I've already put some equipment in there. I have funding to put the rest in there, at least pledges. So why would they object to that? Because a politician found out the research that I was doing and decide they want that piece of land. And as political patronage, they get the land, they put down a little piece of money for hold it, and the land is overgrown. There's no, you're not even cutting it. So they're not prepared to build or anything in a prominent area of town. So when it comes to land, we need to ask more questions. What is Crown land? How much is available indeed? Who has what? And how? When you know, and I know there's a law on the books that people have to declare their assets going in and coming out of government. Yet there are many people who come out of government filthy rich with all kinds of land and property. How did you get that and the kind of salary you were making? Given that one tidy sum, they get over $100,000 a year, which I don't leave it of money when you look at what the average Belizean makes, right? But then how much do you need? Really? At some point, we have to ask the pertinent questions, you know?
And this is the thing with these politicians. They don't have no kind of conscience whatsoever. They just corrupt, take, thief. Then even they hide it no more. They hide it no more.
There's
nothing that holds them accountable.
None.
Nothing.
Exactly.
And absent from opposition, you need a strong media. So if we don't have neither of those, and we don't have no groups of people willing to step. Remember one time they had a group called Spare? Then their party got in power, and that was over with. They had, what was the other one that they had? Citizens for Something. Strong group of people. Their party got in power. Everybody shut up. Everybody get a amount, get a job, get their house and lot. Everything shut up. When do we put the interest of the people ahead of our own personal enrichment? That is the question.
My mind.
I foresee Belize heading down a road where we have never been before, because, like you guys rightfully said, we don't have no opposition. The media house, no, they try hold nobody accountable. They just worry about who gets shot and then they push ads. And so, and I pretty sure that the people will reach a point where they will get really tired, and we now have nothing organized. It will be sort of chaotic. That way I foresee.
Well, you know what I say in Bangladesh, no? But Nigel is suggesting that the police training school is a nice piece of property and could be relocated elsewhere and put the hospital there. That's one easily accessible area. So, and again, I'm saying if you need more than that, you got the agricultural showground. You got a lot of land there. And even so, I don't think that any individual can hold the government hostage like that. I mean, if you have land that we need for public good, we can take that land. See what I'm saying? So we will give you a fair value.
I don't like taking. I believe in property rights of people. So
yeah, but you have to weigh that. But you have to weigh that against the needs of the people. And if you just got a land that is sit on there, and the people need that land, I'm in favor of that. Really. Anyway, UB sold a part of the land. They constantly have to be chasing squatters after land. Out of the 7 acres they started with, they have about 400 acres left. So, I mean,
Is there a leader?
The same. Go ahead.
Is there a leader in Belize with a seat at the table that has the interest of the people at heart? Because regardless of what's going on within their party, the noise of the world, there has to be someone who's putting the people first.
I believe that Belize needs an independent organization when nobody tied to any political party that will look at these things regardless which party they're in. Because if any are they tied to any political party, I get no answers, I get no headway. They know I put country first. They were act when it convenient.
But people are political animals, so that is hard to kind of do because people have political interests. So
because they don't know how for. I am a supporter of individuals. I don't want to blindly support one party and explain. If I see that one party corrupt, I don't want to explain when I know that the corruption.
Right.
It depends on the individual. Because we already know that they're not all see it. Well, most of them do things the same, but they're not all and they have the same mindset. Some of them really, but if you notice, they get stifled or
that's right. That's quiet. Not the one that gets put in the position. Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
There's
people don't realize it is that if you not corrupted enough, you can't in the circle.
You can't get elected. You can't you're not going to even put up as a standard bearer. Why?
Exactly.
I saw this new guy for Toledo East trying to explain this away. And all he's doing is singing from the same hymn sheet. He is not really saying anything new. He's saying what everybody is saying. Oh, we did feasibility studies. Oh, you have to trust the experts. Obviously, they do what they're supposed to do. So we have to believe that they did the right thing. Obviously, they're not. You don't. I missed the one. But nevertheless, folks, that we have a problem. And again, there's such a different tone from last week to this week. Last week when I'm suggesting why we're not too bad. This week, I see something that I don't like because this is how it start. And if we allow them to get away with this, then we keep the push it. And before you know it, we can't say nothing. Then
that's the style of politics though, because every time you make something slide, that every week you start hear something new.
Yeah, we do need. And your point is that about the ad hoc committee, we need committees that are not tied to the government. Though money ties those ties pretty quickly, but show only money their way and that's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where people start suing the government for not having proper meetings before the.
Where you get attorney for represent you.
Yeah, but see, the problem is our whole system is lacking of disclosure because the government the whole time everybody knows that this hospital was to be built on the UB land, and all of a sudden they come out and disclose to the public, oh, we're not doing that. We've been studying all along to put this hospital on some other place, and we have all these studies to show it. It's just corruption. What they needed to do, if this is so, is to present those studies with dates when the contract was signed, when these studies was done. People come forward and testify to Senate committee when these studies was arranged and paid for, and all this need to be disclosed to the public to give us some confidence. And then beyond all that, the land does not seem an appropriate specimen to build a hospital. It seemed to be compromised in so many ways. Some people mention that is low lying, so that's an issue. Then there's the issue of the sewage facility that's there. The other big issue is that they're paying significant amount of money for this property. Where else would this property be sold for this
that kind
type
of
of
yeah.
this type of money? You know.
But you know, when it comes to governance, we have in place some pretty good infrastructure now, but we're not making use of it. We got one integrity commission. We got one ombudsman. What is he doing? Waste some money. Total waste some money.
And the audit, the audit that needs to be conducted.
Auditor General.
Yes.
These are in place, you know. But when you put people in there that's just yes man, just to rubber stamp everything, you got one Senate that I believe that Senate should be abolished. You don't need that. We could use a unicameral system where the House is beholden to itself. But it got that it has the Senate as a dumping ground for political cronies, where they give them a title and money every month, and then go in and talk like they talk, but you're not going nowhere because they have no teeth. They may come up with the 13th senator was not a bad idea, but what they do? They made the 13th senator from the churches. So they never liked what the churches do. So then broke up the church, build their only church thing, and select their senator from there, which just became another senator on the government side. This is done in our face. In our face, people.
Because a lot of people don't realize exactly what they need to do. And the fact that people actually could say that they trust politicians, to me, just crazy. Like, in a 2024 for people, I don't know, it just so crazy to me that people actually still trust what one politician say.
Well, they say I know how they lie, right? When they're out the move. So somebody suggesting that the land value 200,000 or something like that, and then get 6.9 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where's the appraiser? How do we know this land?
You know what I feel like? If then they said that thing worth 200,000 and then they buy that for 6.9 million, that song like that person got paid and several people may figure money out of that.
Oh yeah. And
so
that's how
that price tag now if you cover it up.
Then don't get their money. Then don't get it.
Share it up. Then share it up.
Yeah. So now all they do now that justify it. It's ridiculous. Lisa, we don't know how big the hospital is.
I think it's a couple. I think it's 100 bed or something like that. I don't remember exactly. There was some information about it. I have to look again and see.
But you know that in publicize that much, because that's not important. All that's important now is that you get the piece of land and pay for it and go on. So you can bet now that the contractor will be somebody from the government that probably don't know nothing about construction.
Oh, I hope not for a hospital.
We'll hire somebody. He will hire somebody where he could take it off at the top. Steve, that's when we signed UNCAC. We did sign UNCAC. That was signed into law. But where is it?
It's not funded. But I personally am not a supporter of UNCAC for various reasons of sovereignty. But
give us a couple of good reasons why not.
Well,
why
I
not?
believe that whenever you sign on to the UNCAC is administered locally, but then it gets basically its funding for its operation from supporting states, right? United States, the European Union, those type of places would be where it gets its funding. It does get a little bit of money from the local government, but they don't rely on that. They are committed to put a share, but they don't rely on that because they know that that's not forthcoming if they're pressing on the government. So I believe that whenever you're getting fund, wherever the money comes from, is the agenda you're following.
I don't know though. Don't you think there's some people still in this world who have integrity and scruples? Don't you? The idea is that one anti-corruption matter. So you try to put in place anti-corruption measures. Yeah. I don't see where the funding for it, because how much funding do you need really? Because you just
it takes millions. It takes
millions for what? Where? And this
because they have to do investigation. They have to do investigation. They have to do prosecution.
But see, I understand, you know. But all right, but if you could spend £6 million piece of land like that, you could spend 6 million for this anti-corruption measures, don't you think? Then how about that?
You know,
You can.
as you said that, it brings me back to how people may they explain when this government first come in, when they may promise all a lot of house where we know now what happened, but people nevertheless may believe it. They say, oh, you have to have patience because everything can happen overnight. And that's something where will never happen. People don't understand is that, you know, when I say, oh, the lot of loans where the previous government may borrow and this, that, listen, they could find money when they want money. They don't want to do certain things. So it's not that they can't or that this one fault or that, you know, have nothing to do with that. They choose what part, where, how they will hustle. If they can't hustle off of certain things,
Exactly.
especially public projects, that's the last thing part for their mind. We
Yeah.
are seeing less governing taking place and more business deals.
All right, maybe we can take the issue to the court, said Nigel, and we the people can take GOB to court on an injunction where you're gonna find the lawyers and the judges that you can rely on. Because listen, you could go to jail
Them
for
are
certain things
lots
like
of
this.
money.
So listen, money open doors and close eyes. Make no mistake. So you're carrying a court and then you tie up in a court for years. By then our next government come in. Sam is saying that UNCAC is funded by United Nations, Greg, which is correct. You're saying
Yeah.
different nations, but you believe that we would be beholden to them. I
Yes,
don't.
because he's correct that United Nations pays a part of it, but it doesn't pay all of the funding for the operation of UNCA. And what I'm saying, they also bring some of their own independent investigators.
But they would have to because you
Yeah,
don't. You
that's what I'm
can't get
saying.
people from here.
Yeah, so that's how some of the funding and money is paid out.
But then
And to me, in doing that, you lose your sovereignty
I
because
don't think so. I mean,
Yeah,
what is
I'll tell because people, if someone is opposed, if whichever foreign interest is opposed to certain policies, right?
uh-huh.
And you have to always remember these people also are committed to their business interests.
But not necessarily.
Yes, man. Yes, yes. We
I
can't
don't
push
think they're
that too
gonna get
far. We
what's
can't push
business
that too
interest.
far.
We're not gonna get somebody that has any business interest in Belize for sure. Certainly, you
No,
could find somebody like
no,
that.
no. I'm talking about in terms of funding. In terms of funding, if we just have to look at how some of it operated and functioned in Guatemala, where they had their farm of UNCA.
And it certainly did pay dividends, didn't it?
It paid.
They
Some people went to jail, but then
right.
we noticed that there were certain people that were more brought up on charges than others, when especially in that war they had and that fighting.
But you can always look at the other side of it because there's another side always. But you have to look from whether it's doing more good than bad, and certainly any fight against corruption is good. So I don't see that as a deterrent to say let's not go with UNCA because you have to get people from abroad because you're not going to get people here that's not connected. You said it yourself. Everybody has their own political affiliation, so they're not gonna now tell me something, because don't you have lawyers who do pro bono work, and
Well,
don't you have
people, you
professionals
don't
who
get
do pro bono work?
people could only commit so much resource, 5%, 2% of their time to pro bono work.
Serious. I mean, for the country. I mean, maybe it's not the problem. Maybe we're too selfish.
Well,
We want to make money.
Do we see it? Do we see them doing it? What
Well, maybe we could
percentage of
demand.
them?
Did you not hear you?
I said maybe the United Nations needs to get involved with Belize.
Well, that Greg is saying he wouldn't recommend that. No,
I recommend it highly. That's what they're there for.
Well, look at what OAS is doing for us. The United Nations doesn't serve our interests.
Well, OAS, what is OAS doing? They're not the same, you know.
But they're similar part of it. They're
Oh,
similar part of
one
the.
a regional thing and one an international
Yeah.
thing. So,
Yeah, but
um,
it's formed from that body too. It's part of that overall organization, the Organization of American States. And what have they done for us in terms of assisting Belize with its claim against Guatemala? Nothing, nothing.
well, I don't know. We're still here.
Yeah, and I think too that those larger organizations aren't there to take sides. They're there to protect the people. The
I would
claim with
think so.
yeah, the claim
We
with
have to
Guatemala. Yeah,
depend on them for that. We
yeah.
cannot just we can't everything we can't just dismiss everything and discredit everything. We have to have faith in something. Something must work, you know.
I'm
So
not saying it's zero. I'm just saying we have seen that we're drifting off the topic as I go into that, but we have seen where the border issue and the demarcate, I forgot what they call it, when we did the confidence building and set
right,
up that
adjacency zone.
adjacency zone, how Guatemala has encroached on it, and the OS have done nothing at all.
What can you do? Let's talk about that a minute. Can we could go off of
They
this
could
because
they
we
could have
could talk about
addressed
this all
it.
day.
They have never held Guatemala accountable for encroachment into
But they
Belizean
they
territory.
have though, and we have the case before the court. I don't know that the adjacency zone to me was not a bad idea. We have to you have to do something to determine where this border really is, and the court is going to decide that. We
There's
have
probably
the
nothing
18th.
wrong with it when they set it up, but what has happened, Belize has maintained its portion and not infringing on it, while Guatemalans have constantly infringed on it and have even built residences and such in it.
But they have removed a bunch of them, Gregory.
Yes. They from time to time some get removed, but
And that's the best
after
they can do.
after they have completely destroyed the natural environment.
Listen.
and stuff.
I even so, there are people in Guatemala and on both sides of the border who get along. You know, there are
Oh, I'm
relatives on
not
both
complaining
sides of the
about the
border.
people.
I don't know if we should be so antagonistic and just be so belligerent then, because many times we and this staunch, not a blade of grass, all right, you know. But at some point, you have to wonder, maybe you could sacrifice at least something for peace. We don't want to be in a situation like Palestine. We don't want bombs falling. You know what war is like? We don't want to push that. What always gets to me is that people are staunch in that, but then the same ones are saying, well, why make we move the Queen out for the money? You know, we want to get away from England. We don't want nothing to do with England. What are we going to do then? When we stand on our own.
People confuse and just say, when I hear certain politicians say, they don't have no idea what will happen after that.
Anyway, make we switch subject. Make we go somewhere else. Queen of the Bay. Where they going with Queen of the Bay, Deidre?
I'm not privy to that information.
And take away the crown from the current queen,
Yep.
and give it to somebody else.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? I didn't hear that.
Because they post something on Facebook. They never they have some standards that the lady wasn't keeping up with. And I don't know who sets the standards and who police this, because we just hear about this suddenly. Then decide, listen, we're almost authoritarian, like we will take this away from you and we give it to the second runner-up. You remember last year what happened when they crowned 2 queens? Or was it last year or the year before?
It was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, but he's so fresh in my memory. It seems like last year. I tell you, it's.
I know you want to pick on my friend, but it's okay.
No, well, I mean, we know you do it if you're not the same party. You want to stand in the fence, but no, really, I think it's ridiculous. And when it come into the September celebrations, Deidre, which, I think you got a lot of input into that. What are we gonna do? We're gonna get rid of the 10th of September altogether. We're gonna focus only on Independence Day, or are we gonna celebrate the whole September as usual? Well, we end up Brockdown Gal might tap new music to us indeed, you know?
Yeah, we want to hear some music when we talk about 10th of September.
Yeah. So we want to talk about that and leave it. Broke down girl, give me your mic. Make us see where they go on there.
Good night again, everybody.
What you got planned for September?
Well, I have a couple shows that I'm preparing for.
Okay.
Um, we have one coming up in Cayo. We're taking the whole cultural presentation that we've been doing here in Belize. We're taking it to Cayo. Been
What date is that? What date is the Kaya
uh,
one?
the date hasn't been set as yet due
Okay.
to the fact that um, we were ready to do the show, but due to the weather, it was canceled. So we're waiting for a date, and
Okay.
everything can set together again, so the artists can know exactly what's next. But we
But
have a show in Cayo.
it is gonna happen.
And
Where will it be at? Where will the show be at?
it
You
will
know
be
that?
at the McCall Park.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
By the
So
river,
it's
right?
an exciting um, event. Everybody. I
Who
hope that
else will be on the
everybody.
show along with you?
We have, to name a few, we have the second generation Peters Band, Bum and Shine.
Okay.
You have myself. Um, we have the Freak Vibration. A couple other bands.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's a whole lineup for family, a fun day. So I encourage everyone to come out whenever we post the flyers again.
The final date, no?
Yeah, and I actually have one too for Expo in Belize.
Okay,
So,
and we know the date of that, right? That I want on the 15th.
the 14th to be
Okay.
specific. Yeah, and I actually have a couple more presentations that some let me see. I have like two schools that asked me to go and present the culture to them. So
How
it's
about your
something I'm
music?
working on.
How about your music? You have any songs coming out that you work on that you plan to release anytime soon?
Oh yes, yes, yes. I know that people haven't been hearing me singing any originals, but it's due to the fact that I had some problems back, and the reason why I haven't been releasing it is because I know it's been a while now that I've been singing the great Miss Leela Vernon songs, and one of the reasons that held me long. Um, for not bringing out no original as yet is because I was trying to continue to sing the song so that everyone can keep remembered that these songs is
It's part of our
these
culture.
yes,
Yeah.
it's part of our culture, it's part of everything, and these are legends, and their work must be continued. So that was part of my plan to do as much of her and the late Mr. Peters and any other cultural music that hasn't been out or been published.
You're going abroad at any point, yeah, on the diaspora? I was asking if you're going to do anything over there.
uh not
They
really
don't
in
ask you yet. They don't ask you yet. If somebody promotes something, you'd go.
I've been asked many times, yes, and I actually got 3 international gigs that I was supposed to go on, but as I said, due to some issue I had in the past, I never end up to take the opportunity. But hopefully, in next year, I do all of that and represent my culture.
Well,
Yeah.
hurry before Trump get in, because he's saying let no more foreigners. But they say
He
everybody
needs
them
to
go
wait.
home. Even Gregory might be coming home, so we have to make room for him.
I'm
And we
He
see.
needs to
coming. I'm
wait. We
coming.
need to put this out there. He needs to wait. It's something that we need to do. They have a group right now out there representing Belize, and I see that they're doing quite good. They're awesome.
Well, CY doing a lot of music himself. CY the producer of this show.
Yeah,
And he got if you listen after the show and before the show, you're gonna hear some of your original stuff, which I don't think is bad at all. So maybe you guys could collaborate at some point, no?
sure. Yeah,
And see what you
You
could
that's in
know,
do.
the future. I have a lot of plans.
last year, just before 10th, I remember we had some the that sponsored the Queen of the Bay from New York. Maybe we should consider having them again as we approach the 10th of September again, Mr. Chairman.
Who? Oh, you mean we certainly have somebody on the show for talk
Yeah.
about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you know, then contact them, and I make we set something up, right?
Okay.
Make I jump into something else I was hearing on the news, that they're now passing a law to lift the age of child marriages. In other words, you can't marry at 16; you have to wait till you're 18. Where anybody got any thoughts about that? Where I think it should do or should not?
People could have been married when they were 16.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny?
16 was the age of consent, wasn't it?
Right. So you got married then.
Yeah.
But
I don't have it. Those things means nothing to most people. Not too many people are getting married at 16 and
well, I don't know.
sometimes
I
government gets into things that it doesn't need to and put focus on things
That part,
and
that
they
part,
need to
yeah.
focus on protecting our dollars, protecting our resources, and not
those
stealing us blind.
things are just distractions.
Exactly.
Well, they were.
I don't think so at all. I do not think so
Who's
because
getting married at 16? Lisa? Who's getting
well,
married at 16? I
well,
haven't heard it.
They had some studies that indeed.
yes,
and
there,
this is,
there, you know,
I'm sure in some of the
the
districts it
traditional,
happens.
you know, in certain cultures, that's a traditional thing, and we don't have to name all of those cultures or
Why is
anything
it our
like that.
business? Why is
But
it our business
however,
to share?
let me just make my point clear. Just let me make my point clear.
Go ahead.
It is medically known that women and men have, you know, consenting to early relationships like that and having children can pose, especially for the women, it's more based on giving women the opportunity to, you know, to properly develop. Half of, you know, I don't think you men like you, Gregory, you probably not understand the trauma that a child at a young age has when they're growing up. So you have to look at the psychological aspect of young marriages
But
like
this
that.
is not
You're
voluntary
talking
marriage.
Yeah.
This is
Hold
not
there
on.
is a
voluntary.
trauma that goes with it,
But
and
Let
that
me.
trauma is trickled
Lisa,
down to having
Lisa,
young
Yeah,
children.
we get your
Lisa,
point. We get your point.
Lisa,
Here.
are these not
So I don't
voluntary? I
think
don't
it's
know any
really a
forced marriage in
distraction from the
Belize.
government. I'm
But,
glad that they're taking initiative
hold on.
in addressing
Yes,
it.
all right. That you're on that side. Listen to me. You know how many of our grandparents,
Got married at
grandmothers
14.
started having children at 14, 13, and
Yeah.
they did a study that they said the child marriage, they questioned people who were 24 and 25, and many of them had gotten married early. My thing is that your question should have been, how is it working out? Are you guys still together? Because that's the more important thing. I remember a case where a boy and a girl had a relationship, 17, and the guy 17, the girl 16. They put the boy in jail because the girl was underage, and the boy underage also. I think it was stupid. So
Yeah.
I
No,
don't know.
Yeah.
Something that I'm thinking about is tourists or pedophiles that come to Belize, knowing that the consent age is younger than the US or their home country.
Yeah.
That consent age could be a factor of why pedophiles would come to Belize.
Yeah, but there's no
But
forceful.
that has nothing to do with they're not changing the
yeah.
age of consent, they're changing the age of marriage. You
Of
see?
marriage.
Exactly. If you're looking at the issue, it's much deeper than just getting married.
And
Exactly.
but you know where the most important aspect lies is in the home, that informal education.
Exactly.
What are the parents doing? And I heard the Prime Minister's wife, and I agree with her, saying that what you need to do is educate the children
Yes.
to what
Exactly.
the challenging times you're going to face. So, but if two people get married and say one man, a young boy 17 or 18 and a young girl 16, and then they fall in love, get married, because they're going to have sex. Trust me, these kids are having sex. Best thing you could do, that teach them to be careful. Take your time and choose a partner. Make nobody chance you. Know your rights. All of that is important. But if they're in love and
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
parents are okay with it, you gotta more than
Yeah.
consent to the children.
Yeah.
If you in my house, I'm raising a daughter and she's 16 years old, she not to bring no man to my house. I'll tell you that. Because that
Well,
you under my
yeah,
roof.
under your culture, but there are cultures in Belize that does allow the marriage to happen at those age, and I have no problem with it. So long as it's consensual, so long that nobody is forced into it, I think it's fine. Because in the past, like you mentioned, people were getting married at 14 years old, and there was nothing with it. I know
It
we have
didn't damage
advanced in
anybody like that. Yeah.
no, no, I don't think so. I
Some
think
some of these people grew up to be 100 years old.
more older.
There are
And
Let's
damages,
just
just
say
that it was
that is
never
not.
spoken about.
I
But
think
Let's just say that's not one of our biggest issues. I don't have a
right.
problem
exactly.
with,
Yeah, yeah, I
because
agree.
oh my gosh, like if people get married, um,
I've
that's
supported
not something
institutional
with
marriage.
detrimental to
Yeah,
society.
yeah,
The problem that the young lady was discussing is much deeper. So they have to look at all the other factors that
yes,
affect teenagers.
yes.
But to me, they look on it, they just say put one band-aid
Yeah.
over the problem.
I would rather
And they
them.
look go ahead.
I would rather them address truly investment in sex education than to come up with something like this. Sex education that would teach boys, girls, men, women about proper care for their body and how to address sex
Well, you know,
responsibly.
Aton was saying that pedophiles come and hide the beliefs. Look here, you will have pedophiles. What we need is a more community spirit where we know what each other is doing. Children around this park that I see, there is no or even amongst one another. If I see it happen, I will talk to them and know what to do, understand what are the consequences of this right here. This is what parents and
Yes,
aunts and
adults.
uncles
Yeah.
need to be, adults on a whole need to be doing. Let us open our children's eyes and let them understand that life is real.
Yeah.
What you
Proper
do
behavior.
has consequences. So I mean that's where that stands. I think I don't know, and I agree with you, Shamika, that I know certainly one of the issues that should be occupying too much of our
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
The women's
The
and children's
distraction.
yeah, I
Distraction.
think that distraction and you know
Well, youths are also part of the youths are also part of the equation with the politicians. So whether I will advocate for youth, I'm a youth advocate, and yes, if this will, this is not a distraction to me. It may be distracting, to you guys, and I respect that. But as a youth advocate, it is concerning anything that has to do with the youth, and especially with the youth that are coming after us. If we expect Belize to have a development and to have growth, of course we have to educate them. Of course we got to teach them. And so this is not a distraction. This is a start to helping
you
other young women out.
you
Let
missed
me
one
ask you a
point,
question.
Shami.
Let me ask you a
But
question. If you could go 16, if you could go 18, why is 16 different? What happens in that period in the development
Good
that
example.
makes
I
it
will tell you,
so much?
Greg. Good example. I was raped at 13 and I had no idea what sex was at 13. Okay? And at
Okay.
16, I couldn't even tell you. I could not even tell you that I was ready for a boyfriend and a marriage and to have
I
children.
But that one,
But I'm just saying, I am saying it from an emotional point, and I'm speaking
yeah,
from a
yeah,
personal point.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, how many
but
of me
marriage
are
is
not
not
out
rape.
there
Marriage is
and
not
was
rape.
out there, and we were not, and nobody had never asked.
But
It's
We
not
never
well,
but
that
but but I have a deep empathy for that. But marriage is
right.
not rape, right?
I was about to say that
I,
um I don't think anybody is heard I say like damaged or traumatized from getting married. I mean, however, I do agree. I mean, it's fine if they put it to 18. 18 is an adult, but I mean, if you rush get into something, you still not really understand at that age, but
Exactly.
you're an adult, so they can't really do anything about it after that. So, but you also have to realize that um, politicians love throwing thing about youths, and then they're not really they go all out. They're not really mean what they say. They're
They
not
play like they
really.
do something. Play like they do
Yes,
something.
yes, and they play like then they do something. Oh, we are doing a lead basketball. Oh, we are put on band over
But
this
you know,
situation. Oh, we dey look after the youths. And then you see, because they know that will get parents emotional. So that they will try touch where part they know people emotional without really to do anything.
also Arthur was making the point that soon you'll hear some organization they give millions of dollars for implement this and work on this. The money going some wheels, not even going into what they said,
Exactly.
and that's it. So that one sad situation. I understand, Lisa, and nobody can take away from your situation, but I think that you're kind of like they missed the point on that one because they're not talking about that at all. Rape is not right at any age, and certainly a young person like that, you have to understand. But when two people fall in love and they make one decision, I don't know, and people mature at different ages. You have people at 24, 28 that aren't ready for marriage. Trust me. And when you talk to them and realize this the lights are on but nobody at home, so this person not going to make it. But if you have two people that are grown, mature, some kids really grew up earlier. Say the guy and the girl drop out of school, two of them gonna leave job and whatnot. Maybe two of them meet at one call center, fall in love. Listen, how you gonna stop that? Cause love that one strong emotion.
And I can't
But
stop.
I see that less people they get married nowadays. My parents actually get married when they were younger than I am now. A lot of people aren't even considering getting married at a young age.
Some of them don't want to get in a relationships. You know how many
Exactly.
people out there
We have a lot
single?
of people advocating for being single, or you know what? People like to mention things like you're young, you have to enjoy your life, and then a lot of the young people take that and run with it, and then you see it's a double-edged sword. So
Well, then you listen to songs like Hit and Run, they know it by heart.
exactly, you see.
They don't know the school work, but they could tell you about that, no? Some things that marriage is overrated. Gregory, you've been married for quite some time.
For quite
Um,
some time and a couple of times, and um,
you have to ask permission and whatnot. Is it overrated?
um, we have to look at the idea of marriage and its origin. I believe that it, it some people says it goes back to the Bible time, but I don't believe it is that old. I think it's a fairly new institution, the type of marriage that we're seeing, where people
Wait,
where one man
we're talking about going before a priest.
going before priest, going
There's a
before
time
priest.
there's a time you used to jump over a stick. People have always cohabitated. So
Yes, yes, yes.
so then
It's
you might not
natural.
have called it by the name marriage,
Yeah,
but they were living together, raising children, or we
exactly.
would not have been here, right?
Exactly. And it was very different. It was very different. It I understand that the most social group of what people organized themselves in was probably about 35 people, and it probably had a bit more women than men,
Where you
right?
had men with Solomon, if you talk about the Bible, had 800, no? Um,
Well, I don't want to go way there, but it shows that in the social organization that people had built in the societies at that time in early human evolution was that it took any woman would breastfeed the child if they were crying. Those are the history that I've read in terms of human
but
evolution.
does a woman have milk even though if she doesn't have a child?
Well,
I mean,
well,
or that just the
I don't know how
comfort
I don't know.
that just
Probably
the
just the
comfort at
comfort.
that. Cause there are big babies who take comfort from that too, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, probably. I guess I don't know if it's painful or so if you don't have milk or what. But
It- it-
what I'm
it- it-
saying that it was more a community type of relationship and a social compact that marriage and it was more the English system of trying to maintain property that kind of establish the sort of marriage relationship
What
that
about
we
the
have
raising?
today.
You're saying the whole community raise the children,
Yes, yes,
not
yes.
just the mothers and fathers.
Not just that specific father or specific
But there's
mother, but
always that bond, though, Gregory, that you can't get away from. That bond that a child has with their parents.
yes, yes, and
And
that's important.
I don't
And
know that just started.
no, that didn't just start. That didn't just start. I think, as I say, and even if we look in other communities of uh like I'm thinking of I can't think of the word right now, but
Who is Elizabeth Taylor?
oh, she had like 12 husbands or something
Oh.
like that. Married a couple of them, married one of them like 3 times, so
That okay. Oh, that's the actress.
yes,
I remember.
yes.
With Richard Burton and they.
Yeah.
I didn't say he not Elizabeth Taylor in a family. So I guess he done married like you, Greg, a couple of times.
And I need another one to finish it off before I go.
Oh, okay. I wish you well. I mean, you're brave.
Well, maybe cohabitation.
I had trouble at one on the side. You know what, boy? I too young for get married right now.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
but
it does age you.
and speaking of Kyle, Brookton girl, because we have a
I like how you jump from that. It got too hot for you?
yeah, it's kind of hot. Yeah, see, I'm sweating, man. We did do a football thing at Kaya this weekend, and those from Kaya, I want to thank publicly Lisa, who's has helped us with getting some food for the kids over there and whatnot. We got 3 big football games with some teams from Kaya, set up Belize, Yabra. Yabra tied up with Charlie Burton Park going against the teams from out west. So if anybody got any friends at Kaya, look out for us at the Norman Broster Stadium. We'll start early, 9:30 in the morning, and we're going to run until about 2:30. So we're looking forward to a good time. We try to encourage you, or we tell the kids we don't want to fight, we're going to play ball.
Yeah.
And we certainly want to get the opportunity to make friends and meet new people. You never know. Greg, I've met people through sports who years later I run into them and they were able to do me a favor.
Relationships and competition is what keeps the human spirit going and what keeps us striving to greatness.
I've always said that there are 2 main things that we need. One, that's socializing. We need to communicate like we're doing here, and then we need to compete, because that drives you forward. That makes you want to be better. And once you keep it sportsman-like, as opposed to get all intense about it, because some people can't take losses,
Yeah,
and
so
that's what
this is the place to learn it. This is the
Correct.
place to learn it. Right on the football field, right on the tennis court, right on the basketball field, right on the track, wherever, swimming competition, wherever. I do hope, and I remember we were talking last week about swimming, and I do hope that our schools would adapt more programs. Like someone had said, we have the ocean or the Caribbean Sea right there. That we'd find ways of encouraging our young people to swim and just participate in that.
I'd like to see some synchronized swimming from a couple of ladies out of Kikaka. That one, Shamika, you do any sports? Can you swim?
No.
You can't swim. What part of Belize you grew up?
I terrified of swimming. I grew up right at Belize City, but I terrified.
They never even throw you in a canal one time? You grew up soft, man.
Some man, they left me, and then I nearly drowned it twice in my life, and then I afraid for water.
Well, obviously, if you may die by drowning, or you may dead the first time, so that can be encouraging.
You could go back. You could go back.
You go back and try it again. But yeah, I love water. Actually, I love to swim, and I really think that we should have. We got fishermen out there. That's all they did up on the water all day, all night. Because some of them guys go down and dive to some depths you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Why we can't do some swimming? One person, make we talk about the Olympics a little bit. One man gone to the Olympic, and I sit in the big arm and I watch the race where he run. I wouldn't say he nearly win, but I think
he did good, huh?
Huh?
I say he represented well.
In what way?
No, I'm asking you. I didn't see his race.
No. I wouldn't say
Oh.
Well. Just
I mean, wasn't he a competitor? Did he come last?
He come second to last.
Well, so he beat
He beat somebody. He beat somebody, right? Yeah. I think that one lead country out or somewhere way deep, we got about 18 people population. No, serious. He and I don't want to downplay that, but I think again, I don't know that I would have spent that much money. Send one person. How many
I think it's good. I think it's two. I think it's good.
No, two what? No, there wasn't two. There was at least 5.
Really? I only saw 2. Maybe they were ashamed to show the face of the others.
I guess they were the part them in the party. They were sightseeing. So Lisa thinks Lisa a huge diaspora.
I don't have a problem with the other delegation going, because it kind of piqued their interest, and hopefully they'll use that experience to see and to train. Hopefully they're training people.
How much experience you need? This happened for years, Gregory. This is only the first time.
I know.
Sports not just start. In fact, if you talk to some of the older heads there and tell you how good they were back then, and did they not grow at all? Did we get no better? Really?
We've been winning medals in regional competition, though. I've been seeing basketball.
Somebody show
volleyball.
Somebody show one of the medal. Then did you see that medal on pan cover? But that was the funniest thing, really. No, but we won a few medals. Yeah. I don't think that we're doing well enough given our athletic makeup. We have athletes here. We have a lot of people that are abroad, that go abroad to and do well. I can think of Milton Palacio, who was in the NBA and had a few highlight moments. A number of people have gone abroad and done well. Why can't we look on Jamaica? Jamaica is way smaller than we are.
Yeah, but they have 3 million people.
Because they invest.
Yeah,
they have facilities.
Invest a lot, and then they invest all the time. You can't say you want to be an athlete and then you do a whole lot of other things. But you see, we struggle. We have one struggling life in a Belize, so it's very hard to just focus on one thing. You have to eat.
Well, they're like you got a lot of government jobs where they not do nothing. Give them some of the government jobs. What about the cyclists? And that's why the cyclists, I understand they have to get up early, go ride, and then go down job. I understand that. But you must go get an early plus job, man. When you see that potential in the people, allow them to grow. We could spend some money. Listen, you know how much money was spent with the time when the hospital now? You know how much money was spent on that Marion Jones Stadium?
I know.
And you know what a wonderful fence they built around it and nothing inside? They put some bleachers in at the middle of the yard. My boy, then build and track. We used to finish bicycle races in the National Stadium, and they used to collect and leave money they do when they come and add on to the price. You know they can't ride races in there now because the track too small and the way the track built. When they come and run that track, run around that stadium, have them people go inside and still collect and leave money at the gate, man. Dominica won a medal. Their population is under 78,000. Lower than Belize, the GDP. And yes, much smaller than Jamaica as far as population.
Yeah,
we need to promote sports. Sports builds characters in individuals. If we get them involved in a sports, we might even cut the marriage age because they don't want someone to get married so quick. It all ties in, don't you think?
Exactly.
All right. The track needs maintenance. No, more than that. The track
But
needs.
Mr. G Mike, I don't know what uno dey talk about because uno not see them ministers they do a new basketball court every minute. Then
I
they do
know.
lot. Then they do lot. Look how much basketball courts they all over the country for the youths play.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's good. I see them opening them and putting little cover over some of them, and that is good. It's important if we could get
Well,
the kids
let me tell you about cover.
focused.
Let me tell you about cover because I like the idea when they put the cover over the Yabang green, the Yabang foot coat. But of course,
Uh-huh.
there's no guttering, so every time the water comes down, it flood everything under there. Then Berger Field, I like Berger Field. I like the fact they put the artificial turf, made it level, but then they build one shed over the bleacher, right? But then build the shed when the sun is in the equinox where the way south.
Low.
So then build the shed, the thing straight up for block the sun at its farthest southern point, not knowing that the sun will come over back north at some point. And so anytime after I get past midway, the sun is directly on the bleachers and not getting no shade. How brilliant is that, Greg? How brilliant.
Was there any planning when that was built?
I'm sure there must have been because somebody get paid for plan and build.
Well, that's what they're saying about the
The hospital?
the land for the hospital. They paid so
Yeah,
much
they're
money
doing
to.
feasibility studies, empirical data. They got all kind of wonderful terms for mentioning it.
Tell me
I-
the result.
I am hoping that at some point we will do better. Right now, we are not doing too good. And we have to accept that first of all before we move on. We have to stop making excuses for mediocrity and celebrating mediocrity. What did they want us to do? Give
That's
this
what I
a
noticed. That's what I noticed with our Belizean people. But I just want to throw in that one a lot of way. People into sports, they spend a lot of time, they work the call centers, you know.
They work the car centers. What do you mean? They
Remember when on the news they were discussing the question they asked on the news if call centers are killing dreams, right? People said no because then they get a job, this, that. It's a very, very demanding job, and it's also a job that all young people they resort to.
Well,
so that like basically they do nothing else.
I brought this point up. I brought this point up the other day because I want dead end job.
Exactly.
How far you going? You're being a
Yeah.
supervisor. How many supervisors do we need?
Yeah.
But if you're gonna bring a company in like that, we could demand that that company have in place an educational system where they're funding education for the kids to learn something that can move on to later on.
Because it's like what I try to explain to people how our country can benefit or how we could upgrade for our own call center. We have become stagnant. These call centers aren't servicing Belize. So everybody they do one say thing. What else in the land? What other kind of job they do?
I agree with you on the fact that call centers are limited in terms of development, but it does at the moment provides job.
It
is
does
the
pump money into the
responsibility-
economy. Yeah.
It is the job then of the government to find ways to build on that, to leverage
And
on
the
that.
individuals that are making the
And the
money.
individual, yes. and
But
the
how
individuals.
much call centers do we need?
Well, there's
100
another
100
as much
more
as you
if-
could.
100 more if we could. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have a-
yeah.
I understand
Yeah,
your
I-
concern.
yeah.
Amika. I understand it perfectly. It is not an ideal opportunity.
Growth.
But
I don't want
what
growth
else do
industry.
we have right now for our young people? Nothing.
Yeah.
So,
There's a
but that right now has been for more than 13 years.
It has been.
So,
for 15
so that
years.
means
So
it's
it's
lasting a
still-
while. That's my concern.
But
AI,
Exactly.
AI
So
is going to be
I-
answering these
So
phone
I
calls.
started off in call center. That long time for when they may just come. And we still did at the same position and same story,
But
same
you have
story.
promoted yourself.
What did
You
you
have
do?
developed yourself, right? And you are doing other things now. So it is up
Well,
to the individual and it is up to the government to see the
Correct.
big picture that
Correct.
this is a limited opportunity and they need to put us young people in the productive sector of our economy so that they can contribute
well,
and
then, well, remember, according to the government, then they work with the call centers. So then they try find what a way if you do anything else. And that is my issue with it.
Well,
Because,
I hear you, but that is not enough, Shanika. What I'm
yeah.
saying here is that it's providing some income. It's providing
A decent
that
wage. It's provided above standard
decent. It
income
is
right
a
now.
decent wage,
Above
but
standard.
there has to be something in place where they can grow and
Yes.
get more.
Yes.
If you know what the kids then do when they make good money when they buy that one $400 sneakers or buy one $500 platinum ticket for go see Brockdown girl sing, which is good.
Ah,
Give Brockdown girl the leave money.
Brockdown girl to make money.
Yeah,
well, they're
Brockdown
not
girl do.
develop any
I
kind of other
wish.
skills. So they're not what interested in or anything else. Because they're not develop as what person. They're not develop
So who do you
in
blame?
sports.
Who do you blame?
They're not
Who do you blame?
that the government. That's what I'm
What
saying.
to them? What to those individuals? They could save the money and go to school. There are evening classes they could take. Then correspondence courses they could take. Also, we have 4 years to prepare for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles and seek sponsorship for qualified athletes who is taking the lead in this. Belize Olympic and Commonwealth Games Association. I wish you well. I like the hope, and you're asking for a victory of that hope over experience. Experiences you're going to send 10 more handlers maybe, and maybe one more
Two.
athlete. I don't
I
the way it's
remember
going
a
up.
few years, the last Olympics, I think we had like 6 or 7 athletes. I remember counting them.
Mhm.
But
In
Um,
Beijing? I mean, no, Tokyo.
yeah, I think so. Was
Yeah,
that the one
Tokyo, I
that
think.
was? Yeah, this is the worst
I
I've
think
ever
in
seen.
Tokyo
Just one.
there was yeah, there may have been 3 or more. I do remember that.
Yeah.
not that any of them did anything memorable, no. So
I
uh,
don't. Just the presence and participation. I think is a tremendous victory.
come on, if we're gonna satisfy with that, that's why we're not going
No,
nowhere,
no, no,
Greg.
no. I'm not saying we don't want to win, but how many people, how many gold
We
medals
want to
they give out?
compete. We
They-
want to
we-
compete.
and
We want to
exactly,
compete. So
exactly.
make us see some heart. Make us see a try. And I don't know. Listen, we have to stop celebrating mediocrity. If you come back, you go. When they gone the other day and take one lot of football, and footballing and play somebody and give out or basketball. Oh, basketball and beat them by 100 points. They want to take a tape parade when they come back. Are serious? All right, really. You could bex if you want. Me, no, I don't want to say better
So
than that.
you didn't want to give them a ticket.
Say for take
Ticket
a
tape
tape,
parade?
yeah, with some belt
Wow.
for lash them down the street. You know, that's all you could do. That's all you could do. I'm sorry. We need tough
But
love.
you know what? The government has a relationship. Well, Belize has a relationship with Taiwan, right? And they've said that okay, and then they work with the call centers, whatever. But I always wonder why don't they um try to work with these Taiwanese and other people for bringing other kind of
Yes,
things,
yes, I agree. I agree with you. You know, Taiwan.
other kind of programs, and
Yeah,
Chip,
you
chip.
know.
I
Somebody
agree.
said Taiwan, they do a chip company. You
Yeah.
know
Well,
what
I don't
though?
know if we have the resource for chips, but maybe we do. But we
Well,
do
we
have
do, of course.
resource.
We grow corn, but we do make chips, I believe,
No,
right
not
now.
potato chips. we
Oh,
talking about
oh, the
computer chips.
the computer chips. No, I don't know
Silicon
that way
Valley.
in the time. He never make that clear.
No,
He
no.
never make that clear. But
Taiwan has some
well,
produces
one
some of
chip
the
or the
greatest-
other.
Yeah, yeah. But let's stick with computer chip for right now.
Computer chips.
Yeah,
Uh,
Taiwan.
Yeah.
Taiwan makes some of the most advanced computer chips in the world. And I always say we need to see if there's, and it's made out of basically silica, right? Do we have some of the resources that we could sell
Well,
to
you can
them
import,
to
you can import it. Yeah.
to make that? And Taiwan also sells the most bicycles in the entire world, and a lot of those bicycles are sold in Central and South America. I always wondered, why haven't our government approached them to say, why don't we do some of your assembly of these bicycles and sell them regionally to
Exactly.
through
I
our
just
CARICOM
Greg,
partnership.
Greg, Greg,
So
Greg.
many people just not have no kind of idea, no other extra ideas. It's all with profits concerned.
You're asking a lot of these people. Here, make I give you an example of something that happened. We had a company in Belize called Williamson. You remember that?
Yes,
They
yes.
sold Dickie pants, and the
Mhm.
pants were sold all over the Caribbean, even in the U.S. They became very popular.
Yes.
You know what happened? After a while, they decided to go get cheaper labor than Honduras.
Mhm.
Then pack up the building, then pack up all the equipment, then carry the foundation where the building the build upon. No,
Yes, I remember.
you would
Yeah.
tell me a government can't. That just like now, these call centers are building these buildings and a prefab, so they're going up quickly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you know what care that because land claim house in every law. So at least tell them make them left that if you're going, man, you can't just carry that. You can't sign nothing, you can't ask them for nothing. You just say, get in. That's just like the sporting programs. These companies, these business people use the government when they need it. Then go to them for all kind of perks and favors. You can't go back to them and say, boy, you can't sponsor my lead team, man. You can't give on you go out there and try give a lead sponsorship for any of them. And they will treat you like
Well,
dog.
Mr. Coe had mentioned the way they had changed their tax law that kind of dissuade them from making that sponsorship because now they're not getting a credit for it. So maybe we need to look at how our tax laws are structured so that it does put the incentive back so that
No, well
companies
then
can make-
if we getting so much out of the taxes, then use that tax money to sponsor the sports. Then, cause you can't ask them for more than they could give. Then they,
no, but you could change. I'm not saying right now people aren't paying their fair taxes. We know that,
okay,
particularly in the tourism
and you want to give them
industry.
more breaks, Greg.
Well, I'm saying that no, I'm saying change the law so that it's not that
They could
punitive.
write it
It's
off
not
or
that,
they could
yes,
claim it back.
exactly.
But
Yes,
then
yes.
if then they make enough money and they're not paying enough taxes, they must go get some of profit when they make.
But they're
and
not
we,
doing it. They're not
well,
doing
then
it.
we have
So,
to make them do it.
well,
That's we are the
I
country, you know. This I believe is our
no, but I
laws.
believe in private. I believe in private funding and private rights to
Enterprise.
people to people to their
And make them do
to
what
their
they
money.
want. Make
Not
them
to
do
let
it.
them do what they want, but to give them the right to repatriate their money and things like that back as they see fit and to sponsor as they see fit. And if our tax laws could be more conducive to make that happen, that's where I would like to see it
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, but you know what? If they're not there anyway, right? So if you're gonna come, you're gonna pay your fair taxes, and then they could use that money. Or if you say get them one leave break, but then we'll have to make sure they put on that money into something like sports or something constructive. We don't do that. We just get in what they want, take all if we don't want.
Well, usually that's because the politicians they got the big share already, and
Well, there it
they're
is.
looking out for their own interests when they sign these type of contracts and stuff. It's
Well,
not with a
can
national interest. It's not like, oh, will you sponsor a local school or something like that? Will you sponsor youth program as you were saying? Will you invest in training of your workforce in a
yeah.
college or school that could train workforce in different type of productive part of the economy? The politicians, when they're making these deals, they're saying, what can I get? What can you
Correct.
give me under the
Exactly.
table?
Exactly.
How much
Exactly.
what's in it for me? They're not looking at the national interest, the national development, or the rest of the people that they call their constituents in
But
terms of
that
interest.
is why we need transparency in all these contracts, all these deals. We need And this is what the media has to do. If the opposition is not going to do it, and if the media then is not going to do it, we need ad hoc committees that will do that. But everybody want that big money. We are here every Wednesday evening to do this. How much money you make? Finally to start with. You do this over 2 years, Greg. How much money you make?
I have to call CY.
CY.
And I get nothing yet.
There you go. My check not come yet neither. But we could
But
do this.
I know Dietra got.
Disha might have gotten some money, but he gets mine still. So, but I'm saying,
I'm just
though,
messing with you, Dietra.
but if we could do something like this as a community project, they can't do nothing. They just can't. Everything has to be for the pay, for the money, for where to get. Nobody can give nothing, man. Really. And then
And to think that their job, their job,
then they get good pay for it.
that their job.
I think we're gonna have to look at it some more and find a way where the people can win some of the time. And maybe not all the time, but we don't win ever. We don't. So in the need is a good industry to come up, but we never had. You know what? They make win with what they bring, because everything that they brought, every equipment they bought, they had write off on that up front. You know, when they bought a machine, they write off of the income tax where they may make them before they start to pay any money. They get everything written off up front. That means that money is not yours. That was bought out of the people's fund. So you can't carry that with you when you go. But they have to make this clear from the very start.
Yeah.
Because
as I said that the politicians, when they sign the contracts, they are not looking at the national interest.
And then the lawyers jump in.
Our good friend Mr. Cowie had explained to us what happened there with the Williamson industry. It was just the inkling idea that they were going to be introducing unionism to their workforce that made them just shudder and pull up stakes and left the country.
But Greg, look where we are. This unionism, not a new thing. This has to be implemented from the very start. Yeah, boy,
Well, I'll tell you, people at Williamson Industry were making well above normal Belize salary at the time. I had a cousin
like the call centers, the call centers.
well above normal salary.
Like the call centers. So what are you saying?
I'm saying that we have to look also at the issue of employment and the benefit of that. When that industry left, a lot of young women left Belize because hundreds of women were working at that facility, and many of them at that time couldn't find job. They didn't have the skill enough to say, "I'm going to open my own little business."
But again, to point out all the negatives here, they all learned a skill. They learned how to sew. They were sewing. You and tell me the government couldn't open one place with 2-3 machines, build up to more, try to sell. Look here, we got schools use uniforms, police use uniform, army use uniform, a lot of jobs use uniform.
Yeah.
They want to do it, but one private company have to come and do it because they don't like use public funds for public projects.
Yeah.
That is a problem.
But they didn't have to do that. They could have the government could guarantees all type of funding from credit union, from banks, and
exactly they got Taiwan to get money from. Where this money come from now? Kuwait fund or wherever?
Saudi Arabia,
all of them, you know.
Yeah. The other scandal we're gonna see soon is the land used for the placement of the solar panels for the 87 megawatt solar generating plant. We're gonna see things get
but
crazy.
That money there, how long that money they come? But that money
that money well, we haven't seen the first. We haven't seen the first solar project yet. Then, but
I want to know if the money there right now.
Yeah. That was $87 million. I think it was US dollars.
So if they're not to use it, it'll gain interest, right?
Well, I don't think they give you the funds until you identify how the placement, and it comes in in periods as you develop the project. So
They,
I
they,
don't know,
they'd be smart. They'd be
but
smart.
something. I'm sure some of the money had already dispensed because they're saying they're doing studies and things like that, of course.
When let the money go, yeah.
But uh, but I'm hoping that it doesn't become the same type of stuff where they're buying land from friends and families and cronies and stuff, and the project is not become viable and worthwhile because they're overpaying for the land. So
Speaking of that, where borrowing this money there? Because borrowing this money could have built and so in factory, and I think there were stipulations in the will.
yeah,
But
what you could use it for.
yeah, but something like that was a part
I
of
think
that.
I think you could have used it for something like that. They
Yeah,
did it
so
for a nursing. It wasn't supposed to be used for anything that the government was primarily responsible for.
well, no, no. But
Yeah,
what it
but
was, your the government couldn't use any of it to do repairs and whatever project was started. But the government would be responsible for it, like the nursing school.
yeah,
That the
yeah.
government was.
Well,
But
the people that has that money, I want to know how in England all their investment could turn into billions, and our investment of that same time period is, I don't know if it even exists right now or
I
what
don't
exists of
even
it.
know. There
You
are
know?
three people. There are three people. The AG, the one, financial secretary, the one, and I think maybe the governor general, the third. So the
Yeah.
only
Well,
three people you have to ask where they going this money. We have
yeah.
heard
Yeah.
nothing lately. There's nothing
Yeah.
has been
Yeah.
built,
For 20 years or 25 years, I haven't heard anything built
and
from
the
that.
interest has been piling up. Obviously, if it is there. So but who you gonna ask? And again, only three people can answer this question. Ask them, man. Because see what Trump they say on August the 4th, the government that believes and saw the fund for development signed 77 million loan to build a
Yeah.
60 megawatt solar. Yeah, we're talking about that. The
Yeah.
loan will fund the construction of the plant, the supply and installation of solar panels, and the provision of a battery storage system. What else you need? The project is expected to be completed by the central executive unit of the unit. Okay, but
Ministry.
when?
Yeah.
When? You sign it on August the 4th. Now the August 2024. This is 1 year ago.
Well, Blanco asked the new minister that got sworn in yesterday. Isn't this part of his ministry now?
But they never knew. And they went right now, oh, we're doing the feasibility studies. They dance around the issues, and the person who they ask the questions, which there may be something we also need to train some journalists. Because they ask some really relevant questions. And then they ask them, get them no answer. I don't want to hear
And
one
they
of
go
them
away.
say, hold on
Yeah.
a minute, you didn't answer the question.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. They're not that I
Yeah.
ask you. But
Yeah.
then they go ask dead cow fat, bump all over, boom, cut off wrong there. Go straight to the point.
Yeah.
Well, we only got one Jules. We need another one.
When name got him, this is where they say when name got him. I am not so convinced that he is all that. He can be that when he wants to be, but his motive is kind of like not exactly honorable all the time.
Jules is a good guy, but he's Jules. You know,
Right.
he has his
Well,
own agenda. He
well,
has his
well,
own
well, Greg,
agenda.
Greg.
You know what?
Well,
You
so
know
what
what
do
I
you-
could say? You know what I was supposed to say from we started when you guys made it talk about Jules earlier? What I noticed about him, right? And this I always notice it and I question it. Why is it that it seemed that certain politicians, Jules Hammond, question harder than others? Like with this set with this 6 million and while they done Baron so he no pressure or try get our answers out on it,
Mm.
To me, I feel like it biased towards,
maybe yeah,
certain
maybe
politicians.
that money to share out, the media got to get for nearly a month. So maybe somebody had to ask him some questions. Nevertheless,
So that the next thing too.
guys, it's 9 o'clock. We're out of time. I want to thank you for joining us again, all the folks out there, the listeners.
Where's
remember,
our buddy? Where's our buddy, Mr. Cowie? Where's
I think you said something will offend the man.
Where's our buddy, Mr. Cowie?
I went try beg pardon for you because there's something we're telling the last time. your ball out there or something like that, and I did. We want to say for support Kingdom Apparel. See, I got my shirt here. This is how you gonna support the show. Please, I don't think we're gonna subscribe button yet. We need to get one addende. But we need to try to keep this show on the air. It's some little operating costs and whatnot. If anybody know anybody in Cayo, ask them for stopping at the Norman Brasler Stadium and it's just some good. I got a young boy, 11 years old, amazing striker, playing some good. And I think if we could keep these guys together, we're going to see good football into the future and representing Belize at a high level. We need to get there. I always thought that football, we are more built for football than for like basketball. Our people don't grow to the 7 feet height. And so, but we're good at football and we should concentrate on some of the sports that we can be better at. I just could say there, folks, that Pilaf, if anybody know Pilaf, has been working with these youths in the Yaba era for the past 55 years.
Wow.
You know, the caretaker over there turned out a lot of kids from that era that have gone on, and we have not had anybody broke through yet, but hopefully sometime we will. Good night, folks. Thank you very much. Peace out. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place, every Wednesday. And you could join us. You could go on YouTube. You could go on Facebook and just type in the C-Smoke page. It'll come up. Or you go on YouTube and get some of the back issues. Thanks a lot. Good night.
Bye,
Peace out.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone. And Brook Down Gal, whenever you have an opportunity and that date for the cultural in San Ignacio, please give us a shout out.
Respect.
Sure,
Bye.
sure.
Good night. Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
See why? We're out of here.
Construction. Year one. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap when you can't reach it. Burr, burr, ray, ray, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze it. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, burr, ray, ray, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze it. Smoke it. Run the rhythm and watch you beat it. Make them know say we have nothing to play with. Some of them can't make it, so then they fake it. Delete it when it get toxic. Food please, you cannot see the forest because of the cheese. We keeping this thing at 100 degrees. Moving like the cartel straight to believe. While the bun cold, and I man keep scribing scroll. The real story have never been told. How we bring nobody from out of the cold. After me, them broke the moria. Dangerous as Ricky, front of your goal. Fire, such up and roll. Swimming at the deep while the tongue did that show. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, burr, ray, ray, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze it. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, burr, ray, ray, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze it. Think deeper than the blues past the reef. From this inferno, no relief. They no one put in their work alongside them belief. Indian, they try be chief. Claim you're the preacher, big thief. Call yourself Rasta, still want beef. Want be wolf, woolly like sheep. Go away like leaf. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap when you can't reach it. Burr, burr, ray, ray, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze it. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, burr, ray, ray, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze. Tell me, where the world come from? Real bad intention, manifestation of Satan, real demon, smoky dawn. Change the station, this tunnel spring, marathon sufferation, apart, other plan, who got to the trials and tribulation. Me one, see how do this initiation. Music of our life, we passion. Get ready for the sacrifice, dedication. Now they want join in celebration. Talk about compilation. Catch the show, see the caution. Respect to the dance. Principles we stand for. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, burr, ray, ray, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze it. If you know fit, then no force it. Stop to put your cap where you can't reach it. Burr, burr, ray, ray, and no mean it. All I say about man, but you never did squeeze it. Source from the Pharaoh, I do this for my kings, rocking kingdom apparel. Source from a Pharaoh, I do this for my queens, rocking kingdom apparel. Source from the Pharaoh, I do this for my kings, rocking kingdom apparel. Source from the Pharaoh, I do this for my queens, rocking kingdom apparel.
Don't need to recount the votes. I'm here to destroy all your hopes, dreams, aspirations. It's like poetry with musical inclinations. I see you peripherally, breathe easily, step lightly like on eggshells, or see real shells. I ring bells, bling bling is green. Don't necessarily need to be seen, but I do need to be heard. In my brain I've accumulated mucho verbs. I'm taking herds to the third curve, tentacles reaching up into the suburbs. 10 o'clock, do you know where your child is at? Inside of a room, all black, grown men beats, that's where we at. As I stack chips, pockets ain't made of glass, so you can't see me dip.
Source from the Pharaoh, I do this for my kings, rocking kingdom apparel. Source from a Pharaoh, I do this for my queens, rocking kingdom apparel. Source from the Pharaoh, I do this for my kings, rocking kingdom apparel. Source from the Pharaoh, I do this for my queens, rocking kingdom apparel.
Came from the water, evaporated moisture, wavy wave in here, I do it for the culture, cypher, music, I do this, 2023, still moving with a movement, BK where I came from, but the BX raised me in 2015, I became wavy, named by SP, the streets never changed me, I just work smarter, I just work harder, wanna be Nino, so I need a Carter, so I moved to Harlem, that's where it all started, discovered my flow, and I became a problem. Can't solve them, why would you want to? I do what I want to, you do what you can do. When it come to bars, I'm lit like a candle.
Source from the Pharaoh, I do this for my kings, rocking kingdom apparel. Source from a Pharaoh, I do this for my queens, rocking kingdom apparel. Source from the Pharaoh, I do this for my kings, rocking kingdom apparel. Source from the Pharaoh, I do this for my queens, rocking kingdom apparel.
Plus, I've got no area. I'm scarier than rebels in Somalia. Fools be thinking my last name, it's Ochoa. Supplier, mozzarella. Observe as I bum rush the Federal Reserve. Sensory overload, making you victim of my venom. Breaking down your molecular structure before I digest even. Instant paralysis. I'm crazy swift with this. You're on my hit list. I'm on your chick's wish list because of this ability to strike repeatedly. Stay coiled. Fools test dissemboils. I bring freaks out at night like the gargoyles.
Source from the Pharaoh, I do this for my kings, rocking kingdom apparel. Source from a Pharaoh, I do this for my queens, rocking kingdom apparel. Source from the Pharaoh, I do this for my kings, rocking kingdom apparel. Source from the Pharaoh, I do this for my queens, rocking kingdom apparel.